Welcome back to Daily Dose. Today, we are diving deep into a case that forced the entire nation to look into the mirror and ask a painful question. Does the law protect everyone equally, or does it only apply to a certain group? You be the judge. I am just giving you the facts. In August of 2010, in Jacksonville, Florida, a 30-year-old mother named Marissa Alexander found herself locked in a fight for her life. Now, according to extensive court records, there was a well-documented history of domestic abuse in this relationship. Her estranged husband, Rico Gray, had a known history of violence against her. Marissa had even obtained a restraining order against him previously. On this specific night, an altercation broke out in their home. Marissa testified that her husband attacked her, shoved her, and threatened her life. Trapped inside her own house, terrified and desperate to escape, she managed to get to the garage. But she couldn't get out because the garage door was jammed. With her exit blocked and her abuser closing in, she grabbed her legally owned firearm from her vehicle's glove box. She walked back into the kitchen, holding the gun. Her husband advanced on her again. Feeling cornered, fearing for her life, Marissa did not aim at him. She did not want to kill him. She just wanted to scare him away. She raised the weapon and fired a single warning shot into the wall, well above his head. No one was hurt. No one was bleeding. The shot did exactly what she intended. It stopped the attack and allowed her to escape. Now, Florida is famous for its stand your ground law. This law explicitly states that you have no duty to retreat and have the right to use deadly force if you reasonably believe it is necessary to prevent death or great bodily harm. But when Marissa Alexander stood before a judge and tried to invoke stand your ground self-defense immunity, the court denied it. The state prosecutor decided to aggressively pursue her. They argued that because she went to the garage, got the gun, and came back inside, she was the aggressor. In May of 2012, a jury took just 12 minutes to find her guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And here is where the system truly clamped down. Because Florida had a strict mandatory minimum sentencing law known as 10 to 20 to life, the judge had absolutely zero discretion. Because she discharged a firearm during the incident, Marissa Alexander, a woman with no prior criminal record, who killed nobody, and who was actively fleeing an abuser, was sentenced to a mandatory minimum of 20 years in state prison. Let that sink in. 20 years. Here on Daily Dose, what we have been doing is showing you different cases and different scenarios. We have looked at cases where individuals utilized deadly force, actually took a human life, claimed they feared for their safety, and walked out of the courtroom completely found not guilty. But Marissa Alexander is a Black woman, and her case instantly became a national flashpoint because of the glaring disparities it exposed. Advocates, civil rights leaders, and legal scholars across the country pointed out the devastating reality. Stand your ground. Laws are statistically far less likely to protect Black defendants, especially Black women defending themselves against domestic violence. Marissa's lawyers fought back. In September of 2013, an appellate court threw out her conviction, ruling that the trial judge gave the jury flawed instructions regarding the burden of proof for self-defense. But the battle wasn't over. The prosecutor threatened to retry her and push for an unbelievable 60-year sentence. To avoid losing her life entirely to the system, Marissa accepted a plea deal in late 2014 for time served. By January 2015, after spending roughly 3 years behind bars, she was released to serve 2 years of house arrest. She survived. But she was still criminalized for surviving. So, I leave the question to you. Look at the facts. Look at the history of abuse. Look at the reality that no one was harmed by her warning shot. Should she have gone to jail, or should she have been found not guilty under the law? Does the system bend differently depending on the race and gender of the person pulling the trigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Thank you for watching Daily Dose. I'll see you next time.